Hey guys, Locke here. So I am doing a part 2 of my Hobbit build. I took a little too long to upload part 2 and I'll try to upload part 3 fairly quickly. I just have been really not feeling it. I've been dealing with stuff at home and I got back from traveling and getting back into the swing of my classroom and getting my classroom ready, which still nowhere near done. I got to get the stuff up on the walls, but at least it's better than it was. I had to move all the books and everything, and ugh. Anyway, so thankfully, I was able to get that business done, and I still need to do some more, but that's why it's taking me a lot longer because I've been too busy to be doing these videos. Now, as I said, this is part 2, so I still have to get you part 3. I'm sorry about that. But it really did take me a while to finish this build. So I couldn't do it all at once. Now, as you see the kitchen right now, I end up changing it quite a bit. I end up changing the whole build slightly by shifting it smaller in in an area, and just it ended up looking better than it does now. This is me changing the door from my custom content to a regular base game. Well, not a base game. That was from the movie stuff pack. But like Maxis built door. And I am trying to remember to not use custom content, and I believe I probably switched custom content off by this. Nope, still there. I just saw it skimming through. So yeah, custom content still exists if you look through the bottom of the screen, but I'm trying really hard to make sure not to use it because as I mentioned in the first build video, I wanted to make sure this could be downloaded no problems whatsoever. So I still, in this kitchen, tried to make it as old and non-electric as possible. But because I needed a fridge that uses power, I end up having to do that. And of course, because it's a Hobbit living there, there's 2 fridges, same as there's 2 stoves. And it ended up working out better that way. Right now, on the screen, as you can tell, I'm just adding a whole lot of stuff on the wall, thinking about what I want to do and what clutter items I want to use. But, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this build, and it ended up really good. I am still fiddling around with things right now on it, as you can see, but considering people seem to like it, based on the downloads on the gallery, doing pretty good. So, as I was saying, what I've been busy with lately is trying to fix up my classroom. If you didn't know, I'm a teacher. Like, I am a full-blown educational professional teacher. And I love my job. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But school starts about mid-August, which means that my attempt to do a video at least once a week may or may not still happen. So it kind of depends. I really would hope I could, but school can get really busy really quickly. And I just want to spend my time actually focusing on the kids and not so much on my YouTube channel, if I have to. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the whole point of being a teacher. You're supposed to take care of your kids and teach them above all else. But speaking of being a teacher, I teach English. And yes, as you've noticed through my videos, if you watch them, I occasionally can't talk very clearly. That happens. That's a full-blown thing that really, if you can talk completely perfect every second of every day, props to you. I cannot do it at all. Like, I'll generally be good, but sometimes my brain is slow to work and it just has issues. But that's just what happens. So, as you can tell, the video is still going and me adding some small details. Yeah, I have to redo all this when I shift the dimensions of the actual build. And I built on a 64 by 64 lot, a massive lot, just because I plan on using this lot for any build I need to do. And it just was a lot easier to do that. I didn't use up maybe even half the lot. Well, maybe half, actually, because of all the field and outside and yard stuff that you saw first video and we'll see more third video. But, and screenshots, actually, which, again, because I forgot to take pictures of progress, I will not be adding screenshots at the end of this video. But, you're not really interested in seeing the stuff about Midway. You can see it through the video. What you are interested in is the final product. Anyway, here I am trying to find stuff for the wall. I made sure to use actual portrait type stuff, paintings, no modern looks at all. Like, I desperately tried to make sure there was nothing modern in this house. Like, I didn't even include a computer, I'm pretty sure. Nothing. The only thing modern is the fridge. Fridges. And that is because there needs to be a fridge in a house, and that's just how it works. So, yeah. Anyway, I still like how the build turned out. I like how I'm adding the details now and just extra stuff, which these little stones I just added on the ground, I had never used them before, forgot they even existed. And then I found this fertilizer bag, and I thought it worked out really well because hobbits aren't just eaters. They also like to grow things. They love the earth. That's kind of the whole idea. They're connected to Mother Nature. That's why they have the big feet. They don't need anything separating them from earth, from the earth. And so gardening stuff just made sense. I put some by the door. There's that hanging rake you saw earlier. And of course the garden outside. I have a plant garden and I have a fruit garden, fruit and vegetable and herb garden, and then a flower garden. And I got it built like that because on the blueprints I saw when I was doing research for this build, that's how the garden was set up. He had a specific area for flowers, and Bilbo Baggins had a specific area for flowers, and a specific area for his vegetables and fruits and stuff. So I made sure to do that justice. And yeah. So still adding wall touchings, trying to see what will fit where, what looks best. Keeping it paintings, and once again I yawn during a video. I don't know if I'm ever going to have a video where I don't yawn. That's just, I think it's the curse of me making videos. Or maybe I'm just really tired today because I had training today. Yeah, I actually had teacher professional work day today. And it was almost completely unnecessary. Like, I learned some tricks for my class, but for the most of it, it had absolutely nothing to do with what I teach. Because it was taking into account that I teach a certain level, and I don't. My kids are younger than what that stuff was going to go for, and so it just ended up being really useless, but at least I got to hang out with some friends of mine I hadn't seen all summer because I'm a horrible person and don't really talk to people over the summer. And so I got to see them and hang out with them, and the speaker wasn't bad. Like, she was really funny. And there was a lot of murder jokes because those were our examples because we were learning about how to teach argumentative writing. And one of the first things that you teach them is how to argue for how to argue with facts. And so, like, if you're trying to solve a murder, you need to have cold, hard facts to prove your point. So, that was just one of the things that we learned, and the examples were really cool. I liked it. It reminded me a lot of the idea I had last year when I was teaching, where I wanted to, like, do Clue, kind of. Have my kids try to figure out who done it. So I never got the chance to do it. But maybe this year I will, as part of a activity for the argumentative writing thing. But anyway, as you can see, I'm building the library. Currently on the build. And Bilbo had a very large library. He did not go on adventures until Gandalf showed up. And so his adventures were actually in a book. Let me try that again. He did go on adventures as a kid, but after his parents died, he refused to go on adventures, stayed at home, tried to be the respectable Baggins as he could be, and then here came Gandalf and the dwarves and the unexpected journey all the way to kill Smaug and the 5 armies and blah blah blah. If you should know all this if you've seen it. But yeah, so after that he no longer cared. He became crazy Baggins. What they called him something in particular. But he didn't mind at all because, seriously, that's the worst thing they could call him when he had an adventure, and may or may not, if you are a Bilbo Thorn shipper, may or may not have found the love of his life and lost him. And that makes me very sad, because I am a Thorn and Bilbo shipper. Because they made so much sense. And Bilbo never remarried and just ended up adopting Frodo, and just, ugh, sad times. Anyway, so that was, I had a train of thought, I lost it. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the build is continuing with the bedrooms. I am focusing on the 2 extra bedrooms. Bilbo never really kept company except for Frodo, so of course one of those rooms would have been Frodo's. But I tried to make this as friendly for other people to download as well, in that these 2 kids, maybe a teenager, maybe a cousin, brother, whatever, could go there, and then the master suite is, of course, where Bilbo was, which is right here to the far left. It skimmed past it. I'll be focusing mostly on that, the third part, and finishing up the rest of the stuff. I had a hard time trying to figure out how I wanted these rooms to look, because they're fairly small, and I had to get a lot of stuff in here. I tried to keep kids stuff that would actually have existed in the Middle Earth times, like a little carriage toy would have existed, stuffed animal would have existed, especially one that looked like a dragon. I know it says dino. That's a dang dragon. It's a dang dragon. So, yeah, books for one side. Like, this was not completely separate twins or siblings. They're similar, but one obviously likes books, and one of them likes plants. So it's kind of just a blend of what a Hobbit could be. And I tried to bring that theme throughout, like Hobbit, 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 Hobbit. Because not only is this Bag End in Hobbiton, where all the hobbits live, literally, it had to match the theme, and I was trying to stick to the theme throughout. That's all it is. And so it took me a while of playing with this room. Not long after this, of me trying to put everything in here, which you're going to start seeing in a minute, of this master suite, once I start trying to put everything in here, it was too big. Like, massively too big. And so I had to change it, and while Bilbo had a very large room, as it had to be larger than the other two rooms, this was still too big, especially for a house that should be under a hill, and so I ended up shrinking it all. And it ended up making a lot more sense to shrink it and deal with the fixes there, because I had to deal with the plants that were on the roof, that were grasses and stuff for the top of the hill. The tree had to move that's sitting on top of the hill. The bushes that are trying to be part of the hill to cover up the hill. Because it's very hard to build a hill look and make it actually look like a real thing without it being weird. So here I am trying to shrink the room a bit by having cutouts, and in the end I end up deciding it was not worth it. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Lock out. Bye.